Bear Grylls is a real-life hero whose feats we all witnessed in childhood that make our blood run cold and we could never dream of doing. This guy actually did it with his strong mindset. But did you know Bear Grylls wasn't always like this? This guy, who appears fearless and strong, has been anxious and in depression inside. Bear Grylls writes in his autobiography, "Mud, sweat, and tears that fear forced him to look tough on the outside, but made him weak and vulnerable inside." Bear Grylls' biggest fear was heights, known as acrophobia. But look, the miracle is that a few years later, in every episode of his show's start, he descended from helicopters from heights and has been part of the UK's Special Forces SAS, where he had a great experience of parachuting. He has jumped several times from planes. At the age of 21 in 1996, during a mission in Zambia, he jumped from a height of 16,000 feet, but this time his parachute did not open. As soon as he jumped into the sky, he realized that his parachute hadn't fully opened. In a panic, he started pulling the cords of the parachute to make it open completely. While doing this, he collided with trees and fell to the ground, and darkness spread in an instant. He fell on his back and felt excruciating pain, and the worst part was that despite falling from such a height, he was conscious. He was not even dizzy. He lay there, crying loudly in pain, thinking that his comrades would come to save him soon. The pain was so severe that he couldn't bear it. He said it was better to die than endure this pain, but even death was not coming to him. He lay there in agony for a long time, and as soon as his comrades took him to a hospital in Africa, he remembers that the doctor gave him an injection in his back, and slowly his pain began to lessen. He began to think that he was getting better. He started trying to get up. Then the doctor came and told him that he could not walk anymore. The young 21-year-old's world came to an end. When he saw the X-ray, it was clear that his spine's 3 bones, T8, T10, and T12, were broken. These are the strongest bones in a human spine, which were completely shattered. Now the young man who climbed mountains could not even go to the bathroom. He says that jumping from a parachute and breaking so many bones did not hurt as much as staying in the hospital for a year, trying to mend these bones together. He lay on the hospital bed, thinking that maybe he would never walk again. The reason for living his life was adventure, traveling, but this injury had snatched that away from him. He couldn't sleep at night thinking about it. Anxiety made him sweaty, and his breath became labored. Every night, he felt sorry for himself. Hatred for himself also arose. 2 months had passed, but no improvement had come in his health. Instead of improving, his condition was getting worse. The pain was increasing, and the body was getting stiff. Looking at his condition, his overthinking reduced. Then he found peace of mind. Then his stress and negativity also started decreasing. He started repairing his mind first. And when the mind became strong, the body also started healing. As his wounds began to heal and the bones began to connect faster, he remembered the words of his closest friend, Ed Ames, who had once said to Bear Grylls, "Often God's plan is in your hands. Birth, death, and rebirth. And then your reincarnation has occurred with this injury. Now I am just like a newborn baby. I do not worry about anything, neither of my past nor of my future, just grateful for my present." Bear Grylls says life often does not give us a second chance, but if it happens, be very grateful. He was grateful for his life, for his broken back, for his dreams. He took that picture of Mount Everest in his hand and said aloud, "As soon as I recover, I will touch the peak of Mount Everest." He found himself in such a state that even dust had fallen on his dreams. Thinking that he couldn't bear it anymore, he was alone that night. He summoned up the courage and stood up and, holding his photo frame, went to that photo frame and cleaned the dust. And just thinking about how he could inspire himself to live, this thought got jammed in his subconscious mind deeply. This thought gave him courage and gave him hope to live. The next day when he woke up, he remembered his grandma's words, who always used to say, "Whatever happens in life, son, happens for the best." It's human to find excuses to make yourself sad and troubled. Whenever you fall into trouble, always remind yourself that whatever is happening by God's will. He understood the depth of this matter and felt it was better to survive this accident than to die. After this, he stopped worrying about what would happen next in his life, whether he could work in special forces again or not. Now all these worries and concerns have stopped bothering him. When his overthinking decreased, his mind got peace, and then his stress and negativity also started decreasing. He started repairing his mind first, and when the mind became strong, the body also started healing. The speed of his wounds increased, and the bones began to connect quickly. He remembered a thing about his closest friend Ed Ames, who once told Bear Grylls, "Often God's will is to be born in his hands, birth, death, and then rebirth. And it is your reincarnation. Now I am just like a new child. There is no worry about anything, neither of their past nor of their future. Bear Grylls says that life often does not give us a second chance, but if that happens, be very grateful. They were very grateful for their life, for their broken back, for their dreams. They took that photo frame of Mount Everest in their hands and said in a loud voice, "As soon as I am fine, I will touch the peak of Mount Everest." They were in such a state that even the dust on their dreams, it seemed like their dreams had been taken away from them. Think, and they couldn't sleep at night. Anxiety used to be sweaty and breath used to flow. They used to come. It was a matter of sorrow at night that they were not with them. Was alone. They will stand courageously and will stand without support. They reached the photo frame and cleared the dust, and they just think about it and sleep that they live. Give them courage and give them hope the next day when they wake up. Then they remembered a thing of their grandma, who used to say, "Always bear son life, anything happens, good happens." The human who will give himself to the trouble and find the excuse to bother me in the night and with the morning. Their stress and negativity started to decrease from morning. They are strong when the mind started to heal their bodies. Their mind started to improve when their wounds grew stronger. The speed of the mind has increased and has been linked to their closest friends. The hand of God is born in life, and the question is why? God's will has been to be born in the accident and to be injured but because of that they are alive. It means God for them. Some better plan after that they have now come to this. Worries were put in the hospital's bed they were. Over time, I thought it was good that they didn't get it. They were able to walk with their close friends. The mind goes away and the mind and healing are slowly going on.